Hi, good afternoon to everyone. I know we are, well, a bit late this afternoon, I must say. It's a rainy day in Trinidad and Tobago right now, and we had to endure blackout. But nevertheless, I'm so happy that another alternative was provided so that I can still do the stream this afternoon. So it's a privilege to be here once again. I must say, I must say I am delighted. I know I had some of the guys were waiting. They're waiting there to see what our women have to say today. But we are going to have some fun, ladies, today in trying to address the questions asked by our young men. Please know that you can put questions in the chat section. And Daniel, yes, we're finally here. You can put questions in the chat section and we'll see how our ladies can address the concerns and the question. So I will briefly ask, I'm just going to do a general prayer right now. And then I'm going to ask our ladies to introduce themselves. So let us pray. Eternal God, we are thankful for yet another day. I pray, Lord, that you be with each and every one of our presenters and especially be with our viewers also. And Lord, I pray that you will grant us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Help that the guys will really and truly understand what our young women have to say about dating so that some of their concerns will be addressed. Have your way, we pray, through Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, great. So, yes, so I know Dexter and Nathan, they're here. Remember, I cannot see you if you have joined the broadcast. So you can place a comment in the comment section so I know definitely you are looking. You can just say good afternoon, and that would be very fine of us. So, ladies, let's go. Kindly introduce yourselves to the audience here this afternoon.
Okay, hi everybody. I am Okolo Ines, but I was Okolo Banyo. I don't like to talk too much about the criteria aspect of myself, but I'm a very fun person, kind, and I love to make friends. That's it about me.
Thank you, Okolo. All right, so Okolo is Guyanese and she resides in Guyana currently. Go ahead, Trizano.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Trizana Atkins. Very sociable person, and I'm a drug inspector by profession. And I love interacting with young people.
All right, great. Thank you very much. And just for audience information, Okolo is a teacher by profession, right? So I'll go next to Andrea Charles.
Okay, like she would have already said it. I am Andrea Charles, and I'm a social worker by profession. I have a passion for youth. I want to see youths, do what is best for them, what is best for them in their life. I want them to take the right path, right? So as such, I am here on the program this afternoon as it relates to dating.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Andrea. And just for our viewers' information's sake, she is the wife of Pastor Alfred Charles. And currently they are in the beautiful island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. All right, Curtis. So welcome, Curtis, this afternoon. I'm so happy that you're listening and you're looking at this program. Remember, you can ask our ladies questions. So ladies, let's just go. There is two more persons who should be joining, but let's hope that the internet is up and running so that they can be on the program here today. All right, so ladies, I know I started off this question with the guys last week. We had a fantastic time. So what is your idea about dating? What does that term means to you? Any one of you can begin.
Well, for me personally, it's the opportunity of having a chance to learn to respect others' their different decisions.
All right. Interesting response. Let me hear the next person.
Oh, I guess that's me. Dating to me is, like Akola said, it's developing an understanding of people. Trying to figure out if you have the same, like what's common between the two of you. And if you can build a wholesome relationship, it doesn't have to be going in the direction of romance because we have group dating. But it's just to see if we have common things that can help us to develop a wholesome relationship.
All right. Thank you so much, Trizana. Andrea?
All right. I would just like to say that dating is not all about, the opposite sex. Two women can date, two men can date. Please take note that I'm not speaking about homosexual, right? Because I can date my friend, we can go for a date, casual date, right? But if if a girl go out with another boy, if a girl go out with another girl, sorry, then it's all fine with dating. And also, I don't want you to get mixed up with dating and courting, right? It's all two different things. Dating, on the other hand, is trying to find that person that is suitable, that is suitable for you, that can lead you into marriage. Whereas when you look at courting is when you would have already been engaged. You settle down with this person. So I just don't want you to get confused with dating and courting. Dating is trying so you can date many persons at one time. Right?
So dating is basically the getting to know you process that individuals encounter. And I want us to touch on the same aspect of the dating of many persons at the same time. I mean, as ladies, I know this would have stimulated a lot of responses from our guys last week, because I know when I asked the ladies some questions, asked what to ask the guys, this is one of their main concerns, and they just could not understand why men do what they do. So ladies, what does dating several persons at the same time looks like to you? What's your method of going around doing this? Let's just hear this.
Shabiki said method. I'm gonna go first. I believe it has to do with intention. It is possible to date different persons at the same time if your intentions are stated from the beginning. Now, like Sister Charles would have said before, it is the purpose of getting to know people. It doesn't have to be romantic per se, but once I want to get to know you and know the individual that you are, then I have to go out with you. So then intentions come into play. If it is that you see this person that you are romantically interested in, then the whole dating idea would be different when it comes to that person. So you can't be showing that person the same that kind of extra romantic attention, and then you want to show Carla and Susan and Lynette the same. So intention, it has to do with your intention. And if you are upfront with your intentions from the very beginning, then why not talk to multiple persons at the same time? You have to know and they have to understand that this is what it is.
All right.
I'm getting to know all of you, but I know my preference is with this person. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. So before you go on, I know Mark made a comment here. Okola, take it light there, right? And hi, Michael. It's good to see you here today. Michael says a nice topic that we're looking at. Remember, you can share this. You can share the video to your page. If you share to your page, our persons on your page will get to see it at the same time. And let's see how best. And I know many of our young men are commenting this afternoon. Young men, hi, Pastor Thompson. I'm so happy to see you. So a lot of our young men are here this afternoon. So it's good that they're here. Let's get it. Let's continue to get this rolling. Okay, let me take you, Okolo.
Yes, like Tracy said, it has to do with our intentions. However, when she mentioned preference, we need to realize that some persons go according to what their parents want for them or friends want for them, because some of them see it as I have to do it in order to fit in with this group. But what we need to remember is we don't go for what people want for us. We go with what we desire, and that should be if we're dating more than one person, we have to first lay out the foundation. Well, we're only dating. We're not taking anything further, because dating is all about it's not about commitment, or it's not about involvement. It's just dating to get to know person. So we need to lay the foundations first before we can move another step forward.
Thank you so much. Yes, let's go, Andrea.
Okay, so the question was dating several persons at a time, right? If that is possible, and if that can happen, why it can happen. Yeah. Well, when you're dating, like I said, you're actually checking to see who is suitable enough for you. You have, for instance, like me, when I was dating, I had a list. I had a list, and if now I go just talking with somebody and so on, and I see that this person haven't reached any one of my lists, well, then he needs to go, right? So, I mean, you can date more than one person. It is possible to date more than one person's, and it is not wrong to do that.
No.
Because you have to know who you want to be with.
That's right. And I just want to put this little point in to our ladies. If we're dating several persons at the same time, we're getting to know you. I mean, it's very important. Societal already has these stigmas in terms of, it's okay, our young men can be seen with different women, and then when it comes to ladies now, it seems like they have many names attached to women if they see them going out with Tom, Dick, and Harry. So I want to just implore on our young women, their ways and their methods of doing it. You can actually, then a lot of phone dating, you can find out about people. If you can avoid too much, so much social going out with several persons, if you can avoid it. If not, do it in groups. It would be very good, just to save your image and save yourself and everything. So we still have to be very careful. But yes, we have to find out. If we need to find out about persons, we need to date several persons so as to get information from them. Hi, Liliana Hamilton. Welcome to our program this afternoon. And I'm so happy that you can join in with us today. All right. Julius made a very important point here. He says society doesn't make provisions for that. And that is what I was alluding to. So, but again, I guess depending upon your standards, ladies, people may not necessarily see it as, this person is, and they may attach name callings to you. For me, for example, I mean, I'm in a career path whereby it's male dominated. But even before, I always have male friends. So you may never, there are times when people meet me and they're like, Shibiki, who is your boyfriend? Because why? People see you, you may go places, it may be a church program, whatever case might be, but you have males there. So what is important, even in the process of group dating, we have to be very careful with our conduct so that we don't send out any wrong messages. The next question, ladies, I want to ask us, what do we look for? I know somebody mentioned their list. Andrea mentioned her list. So ladies, let's just hear our young men that are sitting and they listen to hear what we have to say about this. What are some of the qualities we look for in a young man? I'm just going to restrict it to about, let's say, 3 qualities for the interest of time so that we can push in as many questions as possible this afternoon. Yeah. So each one of you will say 3 qualities. If you agreed with the persons who would have stated before, you say, okay, those are 2 of them that this person would have stated, but my additional 3 are this, So let's just go. So Liliana, because you just joined us, I'm going to ask you, what are 3 qualities? By the way, Liliana is engaged. So I know she is, she will tell us. And Andrew is married, Liliana is engaged, and we have the other single persons on the list. So Liliana, what are 3 qualities that you look for, you have looked for in a young man? Liliana, are you hearing me?
Danielle?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you clear and loud and clear. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Liliana,
No?
I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Our one first they have spirituality is very important to me.
Okay.
You cannot love don't love, and the only way you can love me properly. And secondly, you must be a good communicator. You must be able to tell me what is bothering you, tell me how we can tell me things that, improve. So you must be able to communicate well. And lastly, we must be able to be like ourselves among each other. Just free to be yourself. You don't have to pretend. Someone who can genuinely be themselves is very important, because you don't want somebody to be one person now and then in the future they turn to somebody else. So these are the three things that I look for in a person, or I looked for in the person that I'm dating right now.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Lydiana, for your response. All right, before you guys continue, I know Nathan has his pen and paper out. And Nathan, I'm so happy that you're doing that, because I know you couldn't miss this afternoon's program because you were here last week and you were answering through the questions. So keep that list, keep writing that list. Jasper, we are here. Don't worry, the ladies will not disappoint you this afternoon. We also have Giselle made a point. Don't disappoint ladies. So ladies, they're with you. All right, great. So I just want to say welcome to Pastor Nicola English. She's here with us this afternoon, pastor from Tobago. So I am so happy that she's joined us this afternoon. All right, let's go ahead, ladies. We are looking at the qualities that ladies look for while they're dating men. So I'm taking responses from the ladies right now. Good to see you, Kobe. All right, Okola, go ahead.
So I'll go next because yes, I make sure I write my stuff down because I know this question would have come back, right? So firstly, devoted to God, that is priority. Secondly, mature philosophically, and by this I mean understands oneself and others and the world around. Mature emotionally, one who doesn't suppress their emotions, but develop the healthy attitudes towards oneself and others. And mature socially, must be able to get along with people very well. And finally, respects my limit. I mean my goals, my standards, and my values.
All right.
Yes.
Man, with Nathan, Danielle, I hope that you're writing. Please continue taking your list, and to our young men viewing. Please take your list because, All right, let's, I'm going to take Trezana now.
All right, so I'll tell you three. Apart from the most obvious one, devoted to God, I really would love somebody that is really family oriented or believe in the family. I understand that some persons might not necessarily have that, where you grew up with family or parents, but you must have a love for family, be something important to you. Like you must make it one of your core values.
Okay. Thank you very much, Trezana.
From that, I do love a good communicator. Because I'm very expressive. So I want somebody. You heard me, Shibiki?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Hello.
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead, Anna.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I am. Yes. All right. So she is off. She'll be on just now. I'll just add her back. Let me take who's the other person to speak. All right. In the meantime, Andrea. All right. Let me just read. Okay, Andrea is having some difficulties with the internet too. There's the only disadvantage with live programs when it comes to the internet. All right, I just want to touch base with some of the comments that came in. Hi, Kobe. Thank you so much. Dale and Russell said, a woman who fears God, sensitive, you must be sensitive to our emotions and must be romantic. All right. Let me see. Esther would have made commendations on the points given so far. Let me see what Curtis. Curtis said here, for better or for worse. We don't know what will happen. A person can be good, then change so much years after marriage. Curtis, we understand all of that. And when I'm doing my show on marriage, sometime next month, Gospel Life, you will hear how the couples that I would bring on the program, they will explore some of those things. But the thing about it now, we still have to look for those qualities now. Yes, Maya, it's live right now. So you can share the link and you can, of course, join in. So what I want to touch base, Nathaniel here, Daniel rather, asks a very important question. What if the person is introverted? I think Nicola would have made a point, or Okola rather would have made a point on she loves someone who is sociable, must be sociable. But Okola, could you just clear that up? What if that person is introverted, or would you date someone who is introverted, seeing that you are big on the social sphere?
That one is rough. Well, if the person meets the other criteria, then yes, I would. If the person is an introvert, then that's something I will have to bear with, because not everybody's outspoken and outgoing. So that is not a problem.
All right. Thank you very much for clearing that up. All right, Pastor English, welcome once again. Can you tell me what are 3 things that, I know you're married now, but what are 3 significant points that's like your go-getter when it comes to when you were dating?
Well, one of the things for me that I always say that you have to be good looking. I know people probably think the first thing on the list have to be spiritual, but for me is that you had to be good looking, because, I was really thinking about my children. And what I termed good looking was that you had to, when I walk in the room with you, somebody must turn their head. That was important for me. Okay. I didn't, these girls laughing. That was true. Yeah. I didn't class myself way up there with the beauty. So the person next to me, come on. Right. Yeah. So you had that. The second thing is you must be a 7-day Adventist. You must be a 7-day Adventist. And the third thing is you must be able to make me laugh. But more so, you must like to laugh at my jokes. Because I think I'm funny, so I need to see how well you can laugh at my jokes. And if you were really a little stuck up and you didn't understand a joke, no, bye. I'm sorry. Then you must have humor. So.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, you gotta go.
Cracking up here. So you must have a sense of humor, eh?
That was the thing. You must. It's way up there on the priority.
Yeah, I love your the thing about it, and that's why I always have, let's be real on this program here this afternoon, because let's not just go on the idealistic approach, but let's be real what we are really looking for. All right, great. I'm going to take Andrea right now.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Can you hear me? Yes. I didn't hear the question.
Oh, we were looking at 3 of your main qualities that you looked for while you were dating.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go with the traditional. Yeah, mine was God-fearing. At first, he must be God-fearing. Then, secondly, I'm going to go with Miss Nicola's one. He must be handsome, good-looking. That's the second one. The third one, he must be intelligent. He must be ambitious. Once he's intelligent, he can, do a whole lot of things, right? I mean, he's going to be ambitious and progressive, right? So those are my 3 top leading ones.
All right. Thank you. All right, Chizana, I think we didn't hear you yet. Go ahead. Trizana, you hearing me? All right, let me just read some comments in the meantime. Pastor Thompson says that he was ugly. Well, I guess, I don't know. Delison, are you still ugly? But so he needed a pretty lady. So he ensured that he know that he couldn't fit the match. So he ensured that he went to the other way. Somebody's asking Positive Thinker if you can join in to represent men. Men had their opportunity last week, so that's why we brought the ladies back here today so that they can actually refute some of the claims and you can hear from a woman's perspective. So not today. You would not hear it from your men, but you can put your comments in the comment section so that I can read them to our audience. Then Julius is asking a question here. What about compromising one or two of those values for the person, providing he is a good guy? What about compromising one or two? So ladies, I'm going to ask two of you to respond to that. What about compromising one or two of those values for the person, providing that the guy is a good guy? Especially,
I think in everything you must compromise in some way. There are many things you have on your list, and women have a list. Providing, half of our lists come from Disney movies. We have a list, right, of what we may want and what we may not want. But the compromise, you have to see how deep is the compromise going to be. Like, one of the things that I would have never compromised on is the fact that you're a Seventh-day Adventist. And the reason I say that, because I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. I mean, I have met really great Christian guys, and they're amazing and they love the Lord. But I was not going to compromise on you being a Seventh-day Adventist. It does not mean that I would have picked up any old raggedy Seventh-day Adventist and say, well, at least he's 7 days and so on. No. But there are times that you must compromise. One of the things that I had to compromise greatly on is, like a caller, I say, I want somebody outgoing. He must be outgoing and he must dare and so on. But you will realize that when you outgoing and he outgoing, you can't be on the same stage. So I had to get somebody who, when I'm outgoing, he's still able to fit in the crowd and not be in a corner by himself like a pity poor boy. And you have to say, what happened? You all right? You having fun? No. No, you must still be able to stand on your own, but both of us can be that outgoing at the same time.
Yes.
So so I have a husband. My husband is that he knows when to take his place, and he also knows when to dress back. And I am very much comfortable with that.
Excellent. I love that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Because that I just want to put, and that's why for me, I really can't take, I am already the extroverted person. I cannot deal with too much of the introvert in a sense that, he's always in the back burner. It's like, if I want, for example, I have a program like this and I want to say, okay, honey, come on, can you come with me on the program today? We're going to deal with, no, I don't want to face anything. No, I really and truly can't deal with that, right? So it depends. So yes, compromises can be made. I'm going to take one more response or one more person on this particular question, but I want to respond to Positive Thinker. Positive Thinker, you can remember we're dealing with these women here. They all have their own personality. They all have what they like. So if you have your comments, you can put it in the comment section. Don't feel anywhere. We will have other programs. Maybe one day, if you really want to be a part of one of the programs, you can just inbox me privately, tell me your interest, and I can have you in the program one day. I want to make let me see. There was something else. Some other person made a point here. Oh, I wanted to say to our ladies who are looking, you can actually type in the comment section also what are some of the qualities you're looking for, maybe your top 3. And so our young men who are viewing, they can see your list too. So, because I don't want just 6 persons' opinion to take the front line, and then you're thinking that, hey, what happened to these ladies? So, ladies, if you're looking, type your top 3, and we continue from there. All right, great. So, we take one more response, and then I move to the other question.
All right. If I should go, like earlier we said about dating, the definition about dating, dating is having things. Now, if I would have had my list, right? If I get my list and I see that I'm dating, let's say 2 persons, and I would look at the one, that has the least compromise, if you understand, that has the least one. right? Rather than, so that is why dating is very important also. So we knock them out one by one. They can't, we knock them out.
I like that. Great. So exactly, because if you have to compromise with so many areas, it's like, hey, what am I gonna do? This is moving me from being me. So imagine if I have somebody and saying that, okay, Shibiki, you're too extroverted. I don't like the fact that you are always accepting appointments. You're always doing things. For me, you are actually you're making me somebody I am not. This is Shibiki. This is who I am. I'm extroverted. I like to speak. I like to be in the public to encourage someone. So if you move me from that zone, I can't deal with that particular form of compromise. Yeah. All right. There are 2 questions that came in here from the young men. I'm going to take, before I address Danielle's question, I just want the ladies to look at it. I'm just going to ask another question before we get to Danielle's question, and then we're going to come to Kobe's question. Ladies, I know that last week we would have spoken to the men concerning their view on sex. And I want to hear our viewpoint when it comes to sex, because men, that's one of the big things for them. Even in a dating relationship, it seems as if they cannot date effectively without wanting to have sex. So can we, from our viewpoint, can we address the issue of sex? And I want to hear as many of you. Let's keep it brief and let's go from there. Any one of you can begin.
All right, I'll go first. Now, personally for me, that is a no-no. Dating has nothing to do with involvement or commitment. That's number 1. So if you are a person who is only interested in that, then you have to go seek somebody else. I'm just being blunt here, right? What I would say is that we need to remember that the Bible says we're not supposed to be doing that outside of wedlock. So right away, that is off. And through this, you'll know if the person is really committed to God in terms of a relationship, and what the person is really after. If that is the person's only intention, then that is totally out for me. That's just it.
Thank you.
Okay. I would just like to input that, we are sexual being from the moment we are born, right? We are sexual beings. So we are created that way. God created that. So it is not that when we go into marriage, then we feel, I am quite sure that there are many young ladies who before marriage, they probably feel, that is why we have to try to avoid it as much as possible, because we are created that way, something that we cannot, run from. Right? Sex is not something wrong. It's not sinful. Of course, yes, out of marriage it is, but it is not. It is something beautiful. Not right, Nicola?
All right. I don't know. I think our internet is paused there a bit.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm on. I want to pick up from Andrea here, right? You hearing me?
Yeah.
Right. I want to pick up from Andrea. We're not discussing here what we all know as Christians that sex outside of marriage is wrong. There is no debate on that. We're not debating that. So I want to make that plain. Sex outside of marriage, it is wrong in the sight of God, and it should not carry out as Christians. Yet we say on this show we want us to be real. And the reality is that 90% of the young folks who are dating, young folks, old folks, any folks who are dating, engage in sex outside of marriage. And contrary to popular belief, where we send this connotation that it's only men who are interested in sex outside of marriage, when the reality is, I'm hearing a feedback.
Yeah, please mute your microphones. I don't know where the feedback is coming from. Yeah, go ahead, Pastor.
Right. When the reality is, there are a lot of young women who engage and when I say engage, approach young men who already have a very high sexual appetite. They've been reading all of these love novels that they curl up on the bed with, and they're getting wet. You understand? That's what's happening. And they may be going in the shower and touching the self, and they're liking the self a little. I tell y'all, don't bring me on this program. And they're liking themselves a little bit too much. And then they say, oh, it's the boy. When you push up yourself under the boy, whatever, he was really trying to check out what type of Christian girl you are. You up late at night. If you up talking to a man after 1 a.m, he knows you have other intentions. Okay? Let's just have that clear. Don't blame it on the guy. Oh, he asked me what I'm wearing. What are you supposed to say? I covered in the blood of Jesus. Or you want to say, well, I don't know. So the reality is, just to try to be short here, the reality is there is a strong desire for sex in dating based on one, what we watch, what we read, and the music we listen to. And so when we get into the dating realm, it's very hard to resist because we have already mentally and emotionally prepared ourselves to have sex, both male and female. My point.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm kindly asking all of you to mute your microphone if you're not speaking, because I realize that we keep having the feedback. Good. Thank you so much. All right, great. Anybody else? Susanna, would you want to address this question here?
What was the question? Because my net was all over the place.
Okay, we were talking about
question.
We were talking about our view on sex when it comes to dating, especially in a dating relationship.
Well, it was as Pastor English would have said. If we are going to be dating, of course, you may look nice, the other person may look like we are sexual creatures, we are sexual beings, but we should not be even thinking about the sexual aspect when we are going to be, like, if I'm just getting to know you, for me personally, I'm not going to be thinking about having sex with you or sexual thoughts towards you just yet. But it's like what Pastor said, it is what you think and what you focus on. And if that is just your intention, and I believe Okolo would have mentioned it, you would see it from the get-go with the person that you are going to be dealing with, if that's just their intention. And so for you, if you know that sex is not my thing, I'm not really all about that, this is not the time or the place or the moment that we should be focusing on this particular aspect, then, you know, the person gotta go, exit, we done. This whole talking relationship is done. Have a great day. God bless you. Like, you know.
Also, Sister Shibiki, what we need to remember is that at this stage, we get to know each other's likes and dislikes, things we take part in, things we don't take part in. So if you lay this ground rule from before, then we shouldn't have any problem. But if you're dating this person and then you're given the wrong impression, you're saying things that you know will entice the individual, then it's like you're setting yourself up and the individual up. So our conversation needs to be curbed when we're dating individuals.
Thank you so much for that. All right, great. So I want to address Kobe, your question. Your question, we will take that when I'm dealing with courtship, because in dating relationship, we're not looking at that really. But I'm going to take your question whenever we're looking at courtship. But I want to address, let us address Danielle's question. Why do women often mistake a guy being nice as flirt? And I know many times we encounter that we say, oh God, these guys just like to flirt. So why do we women often mistake a guy being nice as flirt? And I'm going to take two persons' response on that. All right, everybody's figuring out who two persons do I have.
As we say back home, I'll take it. As we say back home, there's a customs fee. Isn't that what we say?
Yeah.
There's a customs fee.
By the way, Pastor English is Guyanese, eh?
So the reality is, Yeah. The reality is some of us just a little bit disaccustomed to the niceness. And then the other side is based on experience, where we've seen that, okay, you're doing this because you want to. Even I'm married now. And if I know that when my husband turn on the air condition in the bedroom, because he don't like AC, he like fan, I know what he's saying. You understand?
Yeah.
I know what he is hinting at, that he expects things later on. So sometimes it's not that he's not nice all the time. He's a very lovely husband. But I know what you mean when you turn on this air condition for somebody who don't like air condition. Do you understand? Even when rain falling, you're turning on AC. So you're sending a message. So sometimes it's the way the person operates that you think it is flirting. But just a little secret for you men is that women flirt more than men. Ask Andrea. She's going to tell you about that now. Go ahead, Andrea. Tell them about how women flirt more than men.
I really don't know to answer that, Nicola. I think you should finish it off. Well, you see, what Nicole is saying that, you know, we go there.
I'm feeling very confident that Nicola knows.
I didn't get that.
She's feeling confident that Okola knows the response.
Oh.
That's all right. It was for Kolo.
Yes, go ahead, Andrea.
No, I was saying, to answer that question, I'm not sure if I would be right? But for me, for women, they just want to, you know, dress up, look nice, whatever, to see which one they can catch. I don't know if you call it flirting or like Miss Nicola said, right? But they like to do that. Women generally like to do that.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I love dressing up, but I don't know if I just dressing up for catch a thing, but
I wonder. Sometimes, just to pause, sometimes, Shibiki, sometimes you're dressing up and you don't even think that you're flirting, but like the guys would have mentioned that why is it? They're thinking that you're flirting, but sometimes you're not, you're just being you.
All right. Okola, would you like to answer, to make a submission on that point? All right, Okola is declining on that. All right. I noticed a lot of nomination is taking place. All right, I'm gonna leave these two young women and let me ask you another question here. What would be a factor? Let's say, okay, this guy carries you out on the first date. You're dating and you decide to accept his invitation to go on an actual date to someplace. And you went once. But what would motivate you to go on a second date with him? Let me hear you, ladies. I'm going to take Trizana and Okola, and then I'm going to take either response from either Pastor English or Andrea. What would motivate you to go on a second date?
The conversation. If I enjoy the conversation and I have with you,
all right,
there wasn't no kind of monotony.
I don't know. Do you have two devices on? Because I was just hearing a feedback from your end. All right, Liliana, welcome back to the microphone.
We're good now?
I'll turn
it now.
Just a moment. Go ahead, Chizanam.
Yes. The conversation. If we would have had a wonderful night and we touched on a lot of topics, and I find that things are just
all right. So, all right, Liliana, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you, and it seems like if you're more stable now. So, Liliana, the question that we have right now is, what motivated you? I'm going to use the fact that you're engaged now. What motivated you, Liliana, to go on a second date with your fiance? Well, I mean, while you guys were dating.
Thank you for having me back. Well, for me, basically, I'm a person, I love to observe people, right? And I don't like to waste person's time, and I don't like people wasting my time either. That's just it. And so after the first date, I had my list of stuff that I, in my head that I was expecting from the young man, from my fiance at that time. And one of them was respect, right? On the first, I mean, you can't be on the first date and you've been very disrespectful. Secondly, the way you treat me on the first date tells a lot. So when he took me out and he was very respectful, and I can see that he, meant business, right? It motivated me. It showed me that it's not just a date whereby we just go and have a nice time and then that's it. It was a date whereby it was a meal and something. It was the beginning of a never-ending journey. So that's about it.
All right. Thank you very much. In a nutshell. Well, I know he's a gentleman, so I could vouch on that part. So I'm happy that you guys, I can't wait for the wedding very soon. All right, so let me hear who is next on this question. Who should I take? All right, Okolo, you're smiling the most right now, so go ahead. It's okay to decline if you don't want to answer this particular question or no.
Okay, I'll go. Like Liliana said, respect. And if I enjoyed your company, then definitely I'm going again. If I had fun and nice food to eat, well, not that I like eat, but the food has to be proper. Yes, I'll go again.
But how is he responsible for the food, Okolo? He carried you to a place.
If the place is, like, it doesn't have to be expensive, but it must be a nice place that you take me to. Yes.
Okay, then. Interesting. All right. Thank you. I'm going to take one more of you ladies on this, and then we go and move on to the other questions.
All right. For me, I would say that you recognize some interest, and you want to further investigate, you want to get to know the person more. So you recognize this is what I'm interested in. Because if I go on a date and I recognize, well, this person doesn't suit my interest, well, then we can't go further. I'll drop it just there. But then if I recognize something that, interests me, then I'll go. I want to investigate. I want to know more, right?
All right. Thank you very much. I just want to say welcome to some of my guests here. Sonia, I'm so happy to see you. You're saying it's the first time. I'm happy that you are here with us today. Hi, Miss Susan Phoenix. Welcome. Sister Geraldine. Well, Sister Geraldine is always here with us. So welcome to you again today. Remember, I cannot see if you are looking. I cannot see if you're viewing. So if for me to know, you just have to place a comment in the comment section. Hi, Janissa and Frank Reynolds. I'm so happy. So Dexter is sending hi to Liliana. Liliana, I don't know if Dexter gave you some dating tips or something, but he said he's happy that you took some of his advice. Well, well, welcome to that. All right, let's move on. So we have, hi, Anessa. It's good to have you here with us this afternoon too. So ladies, do you think we should set our boundaries before going on a date? Let me hear you on this one. So put on your microphone.
Yes, we should set our boundaries so that when we get to where we're going and taking you to your place, you shouldn't feel any way because we already laid the foundation. Well, this is what is gonna happen. I like this, I don't like this. You can do this, but you can't do that. So yeah, you won't feel any way.
Okay.
All right. The question is setting boundaries before, right? So actually you're going to together. Hello, you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, setting the boundary before. So for instance, some of the boundaries that I'm thinking about is like no deep kissing, me and you, we're not gonna have any deep kissing. I have to reach home by by 9 o'clock tonight. You know, if we go on a date, I have to reach home by no dark corner, nowhere to start, you know, nowhere that would permit physical intimacy. So you're setting those boundaries so you would not go over.
Thank you. All right, go ahead, Liliana. I know you want to.
Yes, I believe that, as you know, all women, we should set boundaries, because first of all, we are not their wives. We cannot act as a wife role when we are only the girlfriend, fiance, right? We can't do that kind of stuff. And the thing is, what I believe that as a woman, you should have, first of all, you should have respect for yourself, right? And when you have respect for yourself, then the young man would have more respect for you. Cannot allow him to treat you as a wife when he did not take you down the aisles. There's a difference between, there's a difference between being a girlfriend and being a wife. And also, when you set boundaries too for yourself, it makes you feel, empowered. And like, it's as though the person doesn't have any power over you. And sometimes when guys, they do things for you, or so for some guys, not all, right? Let me say not all guys and so forth. Sometimes when, you don't set any boundaries and you guys end up doing certain stuff, right? They can even use that against you as well, And so I believe that you should just, as much as possible, try to set boundaries, try to make the young man respect your boundaries. And if he can respect your boundaries, you know that he will respect you. If he cannot respect your boundaries, then something is wrong there.
Great. Thank you so much. All right, great. So I just want to encourage our audience, those who are looking, you can share this live right now. There might be some other young woman who may be well encouraged with your response because she may not know. There might be some other young man who wanted to know some of these answers that you're giving here this afternoon. So I'm asking you can share this live broadcast so that others can enjoy it at the same time. All right. The other question is this. Remember, audience too, you can place your questions in the comment section and we see how best we can address the concerns that you have. So what are your thoughts on long distance relationship? What are your thoughts on long distance dating relationship?
For me, if I should comment on this, for me, long distance relationship, it worked for some. For the majority, it would not work, right? For the majority, it would not work. For some, it worked. And I believe why it don't work is because for some people, they may thinking, what are they doing? What are they doing? And sometimes the communication might go, might be weak. So I wouldn't, I wouldn't encourage the long distance relationship.
All right. Let me hear you pass English on this. Do you think what is your say in terms of long distance dating relationship?
Oh, I've seen it work for many people. For many people, it has worked. For many people, it will not work. And it's based on your goals and commitment. It takes two person. And one of the things I've learned is not to judge what works for one person. For example, there was 1 year I dated my husband fully. And then the next year I was in Guyana pastoring. And we were apart for a whole year and a half. And we had to maintain that relationship. It is what you want out of a relationship, and communication is key. So for some, it will work. For others, it will not work. But I always tell folks, do not be afraid to try it. But it takes a lot of trust. And it's not a trusting of persons. It is trusting of self. It is trusting of self. So some women are afraid because they, I don't trust you. And you on your own self doing your own thing with who, and you don't trust him. So it takes that sort of commitment, and that commitment to God. Constant communication in a long distance relationship is vital for its survival.
Thank you so much. I'm definitely going to take Liliana on this one because Liliana's relationship, I know you guys are hours apart, and with the different time zone and everything. Liliana, how did you cope with this? I mean, being in a long distance relationship after school here, and let's just hear your personal experience on this.
Okay, well, I'm not in a long distance no, but I was in one when I was in school. And I was very eager to be in it because I often heard of, if you want to know if your relationship will last, then you must, at least have some distance in between. And I will tell you, it was hard. It was hell. Because one, if you don't have proper communication, it would not work. You have to be able to find time, like on the weekends, you can schedule a movie night, you can schedule something, and especially if the person is living in a different time zone than you. And that is when the devil sends like people your way. Like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't even lie, they were like people all over. Like, when I say people, like guys. And when you're single, they would say that you don't see anybody, but when you're in a relationship, that's when you see everyone. But yeah, and you have to know what you want, even when you're lonely. And let's say, for instance, this is one of the key points: when you and your partner fight in your long distance relationship, right? Just remember that you have to go still. Don't go looking for somebody nearby to just vent to and talk to and so forth. Try to, resolve your problems very quickly, because remember, you're far away and you will see people that you would think that would be able to listen to you and help you and so forth. And as much as possible, try to plan your life in such a way that you won't spend time away from each other for years. Don't drag it out. If you say, okay, I'll do a year and then we'll meet up, I'll make a sacrifice and we'll meet up and we'll get married or so forth. But try to plan ahead so that you have some sort of hope to look forward to, not just going in distance for months and years and you don't have any final destination to meet up and so forth. But just trust, loyalty, and a good plan.
Thank you, ladies, on that.
And Jesus,
go ahead, Lina. You had another point to make?
No, I say, and Jesus, of course, making the center of it all, because he will help you.
Definitely. I love that. John, just checking in if you have any submission on this. Your microphone is muted.
Sorry. I'm agreeing with both Peter and Liliana on this. From the very beginning, if it is that we just might end up getting into a long distance, or our relationship has to be one that we're apart, we have to come to a common understanding that, okay, well, this is why we're apart and this is what we plan to do. And by God's grace, you submit it to God, and you have to sit with yourself and be honest with yourself. Do I want to do this? Can I really have a long distance relationship? And I think if you can sit with yourself and you can talk to yourself and really understand if you are ready, then by all means go ahead. If you know that you are not, then don't even venture into it simply because you love the person, because you will just end up hurting yourself and the person.
Thank you so much. Lovely points of submission. I don't know. For me personally, I don't think I can't really handle it for too long. But of course, it takes a lot of work. And because I'm generally an impatient person, well, with God, all things are possible. That's the only thing I would say. But I wouldn't go for it if that's my first. If I have other options, I wouldn't go for that as my first option. But it can work. It's workable. But you guys have to really and truly commit. All right. The other question is, ladies, how often do you think couples should meet on a date? Remember, we're talking about dating here, right? How often do you think that you should meet? And how long should they spend per date? How often do you think they should meet? And how long do you think they should spend per date? And by the way, these are questions coming from guys' audience. So I had to ensure that the guys send the questions what they want the ladies to address today.
So, Shabiki, how long, as in how many hours on the date, or?
Yeah. Are
they asking that?
So the first question is how often, maybe if it's twice per week, 3 times a week or whatever. And then the other aspect of it is the hours.
Okay. If Josiane is answering?
Apparently,
yeah.
Go ahead, Pastor.
It really depends on the person that you're dating. You guys get to decide how often you guys get to decide how often you're going to go on a date. If you can afford to see each other 3 times a week, that's good for you. Twice, or if you can only see each other on the weekends, it depends on the person, the individual. As it relates to how long you should spend, again, it depends on the date. But if it's a date at night, you want to keep it in moderation. So those hours that, people are going into their beds and it's getting late and things are going on in your mind and start appearing in your mind that shouldn't be there, the date has to end. Oh, it needs to finish. You should have a good night, sir. Have a good night, mom. I'll see you when we have a date the next time. It's moderation. It has to be in moderation for me. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else.
Thank you. Yes, Pastor.
Yes. Thanks, Susanna. Age, for me, it's your age and stage. All right. When you're teenagers with your puppy love and you're now fine, sometimes you only do once a week. As Adventists, we know we date on Sabbath. That's the truth. You go to church so you could sit down next to the boy and you find he church, whatever. Shabiki, you have done that before, right? So we date on Sabbath, right? So it depends on the timing.
Okay.
Good. So age and stage, and it is the stage in the relationship. For example, I think some folks will know that before I met my husband, there was a guy I dated for almost 6 years. We dated together. We went through the whole long distance relationship. We dated, and we spent a considerable amount of time together, going out. We left in the morning to when I was going to school. He was supposed to say that? Yeah, when I was going to school, he was going to work. Yeah, I was dating in school. And so we left, we were on the bus together and all of that. Fine. But when I met my husband at a different stage in my life, the dating experience was of a whole different level. I never want to leave his presence. I mean, I never broke curfew in USC until I met my husband. I'm there trying to sneak in the dorm all 11 o'clock in the night and so on, because I was now with somebody that forever, but Sister White tells us that you should guard the hours that you are of communication. That is very important. That late at night, 12, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, that puts pressure on your health. It should not happen. The last thing is, it is how often. How often is based on how much money you have. And of course, also location. But let's just look at how much money you have. If every date we go, you only buying, wait, let me put it in Ghana context. Egg, ball, and chana. That is all we could get in this date. I would like you to save up for the next 2 weeks, so at least I could get a little Chinese food or something. So it depends. All right. So it depends on finances too. It depends on access. You understand? If he's in Berbice and you in Linden, I don't know. You may have to go around in the back by Brazil, come through so wherever to reach and so on, whatever. But age, stage, and definitely access and finance.
Thank you. Thank you. It was only last night. I was talking with someone and I was saying, in Trini context, I was just looking at it and I was like, if I am going out with a guy and every single date he only spends $100 TT on me, like, Trinis, they make money at every date. You only spending $100 TT on me. Maybe only Pizza Hut or some cheap place. I said, nah, man. I will have to look at that and revisit that. Maybe he may be a cheap man, right? So I was just, myself and my friend, we were just only laughing. We were just laughing about it, and we were just looking at currency, how much money should a man spend on a woman? But I'm not going to get into that particular argument. It depends on the individual here. I'm going to take 2 more comments, and then we're going to move on. In fact, 1 more comment on that.
Okay. I also think that it's important to know your love language and so forth. If you're the kind of person, since that the men and the women, if you're kind if and whereby you love a lot of like what is it like personal time and so forth, you love to see the person and so forth, and that's how you communicate your love, then it's important for the women consider that, because sometimes you can be doing everything else, buying gifts, and that the man is not feeling love. Also, this it's for like the dates can whereby you go to a restaurant, you eat, and sometimes the dates can be just a walk, like if you're on campus, a walk on campus or by the park or something like that. If you don't have any money and you're a student, right? And once you have a girlfriend that understands or don't mind, but she knows that okay, this won't be forever, but it's just a point in your so forth. And how many times and so forth, all you can. And the thing is, thanks to technology, we can also have dates via Skype and like whatever other medium and so forth. And so like if you can't get to see the person because you're very far away, you can schedule dates like that. And so like if you see the person just once a month, you would have already have like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Skype dates or Zoom dates already. So it won't feel like, you didn't spend much time together.
All right, you touched on a very significant point there, and we have an episode that we're doing on love languages in the next 2 weeks, where you're gonna hear we will examine love languages in details. We'll have some couples here. We have, of course, some single persons who are dating on the program too, as we explore the context of love languages. But the other question is this, ladies, and this is a big one. I know Dexter, you would have placed 2 questions there, and Delson, let me just So we have 3. So I'm going to ask you one of my questions here, and then I'm going to take the 3 questions that came in, one from Dexter, one from Delson, and the other person. Well, Dexter sent 2 questions. Yeah. So we're going to take that just now, but I want to address this one first, ladies. What would you advise a woman, a young girl, or anyone who is dating and the man is either physically, verbally, or emotionally abusing her? But she loves him. Well, she claims she loves him. What would
That's not love. That's not love. She needs to run as fast as she can. That's not love.
All right. Thank you.
Sometimes we date to find fulfillment in what we're not having at home.
She needs to.
In what you're not having at home. Sometimes in your own family life, you have abusive relationship. Things are not up to par at home, and you find somebody who treats you nice, but sometimes he does give you 2 slaps. So sometimes women are in a quandary about that. What is important there is your self-value, because you may love somebody, but you also need to love yourself. So people say, oh, go and you run and you done. But some women, they don't have anywhere where they're being loved and comforted. So if here he gave me 2 slaps and then he is nice to me and cuts my toenails and so on, folks who look past that. But self-value is what's most important.
Thank you for that.
Another thing, if I should add to Pastor Nicola, some persons, it's a kind of culture for them. Culture is like a cycle. Okay, I grew up with somebody abusing me. I actually look for somebody, that even if they abuse me, I find it normal. It's not, I don't see it as wrong, and I continue the relationship. But somebody needs to encourage that person that they should, it is wrong. It is not right,
Thank you, Andrea. Chisana, you were speaking.
A bit of what both Pastor said and Andrea said. She needs to run, but also she has to assess what it means to really be loved. I mean, and I understand if she was not able to, define love from her childhood and from her family, but let's say she's a right-thinking woman. You have to understand your worth. Am I a pig? Am I like a ball, a rocket, a wall where you are supposed to where you exert your physical strength whenever it's necessary? Is that Is that how I treat you? So she needs to assess really her relationship, and how a person treats you tells you that how much they love you. So yes, you cut my toenails, you buy me food and what's necessary, but I get all of that in exchange for you punching my face or verbally abusing me or making me feel as if I'm not good enough. So it's for her to assess, and she may need somebody to talk to and reach out to really assess the situation, because you're not getting love. You're just a puppet. You're a pet. I just have to feed you here and there, make you smile a little, and then you're good for the next couple of beatings or for the next couple of moments of abuse. So just to assess your relationship and who you are as a woman.
Thank you so much, lady.
If I may add, a guy doing such is showing you how he treats his mother and his sister, I should say. Because anybody that would treat you that way, it definitely shows their pattern with their own family members. Because I won't see why you would want to make somebody a punching bag. And anybody who decides to stay in such a relationship, I would say that person is stupid. Because I can see you're seeing all of this and you're still staying there. Then that is not love, that is infatuation. So the best thing to do is just get the hell out of there and go somewhere else and find somebody who truly loves you for who you are and wouldn't make you into a punching bag.
All right, thank you. But one of the things, ladies, we need to realize is that when it comes to abuse, many times we focus so much on the physical aspect of it. And there are endless women who are going through psychological or emotional abuse. The man telling you, subtle things, and he's embarrassing you, he's insulting you. And sometimes we sweep those factors under the carpet and we only focus so much on the physical aspect. So ladies, even if it comes to whether it be psychological abuse, don't even take it. No man should disrespect you. Even if there's an issue, sit, talk it out, and trust me, you guys will work it out if there is need to. But when it comes to look at abuse in all its context, just don't limit it to physical abuse. When it comes to if you have to take up the mantle and leave, Andrea, I think you had a point. Go ahead.
No, it's an interesting topic. It's a topic that I like. I would just like to share, an experience of mine. I dated a guy before my husband, right? And the first time, yes, he hit me, he slapped me. For what reason? Because he was jealous, because I was talking to another person, he was jealous, right? So, and then probably a couple of days after, he said that he was sorry and so on. And then I went back into the relationship, accepting the apology and so on. And then another time he did it again. He slapped me, so it becomes a norm. It becomes a norm. So I am thankful for my husband who would have saved me from that relationship, But what I'm saying that, you never take when a guy actually hit you once, don't take it for granted and say that he will change. Don't even, yes, you can pray for him and all of that, but it's not guaranteed that he will change. It's not guaranteed. So like we're all saying that you should leave. So if anybody that is watching us right now and they're in such a relationship that somebody would have hit them, I would advise that you need to leave the relationship.
Thank you so much, Andrea. And even I personally had an experience too, whereby I was dating this young man, and something I can't remember what was the topic on the discussion. And he slapped me. Oh, that is the worst thing. If you know Shibiki, don't. And when he slapped me, I slapped with that same, there's a passion that arose in me, and I slapped him back. I said, listen to me, don't ever try that ignorance with me. I didn't leave the relationship right away, right? I mean, there are other factors that caused me to leave. But when I looked at that, I'm like, what? But he never, ever tried that again, because I slapped him right back. But then again, ladies, sometimes, okay, he may not try it back then. But then later on in your relationship, whether it be your courtship relationship, because that was just a dating relationship, whether it be your courtship relationship or sometimes marriage, that's the type of person he actually is. So sometimes the things that you see very early, trust me, there's a saying, with a nip, put the nip in the bud. If I'm getting the statement correct.
Yeah, nip the bud. Mm-hmm.
Nip the bud, yes. So you have
Nip
to
it in the
right
bud.
away. I always tell people, my mother, I haven't grown up. My home, I've never seen my father slap my mother one day. They're married for what, 32 years, 33 years now. And not one day. I knew days when he went in extreme passion. And I know one particular instance when I asked him, I said, Daddy, like, you wanted to hit mommy? He said, you know, your mother really get me vexed here. But knowing my mother, we grew up from since we're young, we grew up hearing mommy saying that no man will ever hit her. It doesn't matter who that man is. So because of that, we grew up with that same sort of mentality that here, what? It doesn't matter what is the situation, he should not. And by the way, ladies, I must tell you too, don't hit a man. Pastor Hines.
Very true.
You don't do the reverse because sometimes we leave abuse on a one-sided way, whereby, you know, there's some quiet guys where some of us ladies can take full advantage of them. Please, abuse in none of its form is acceptable by whether it be males or whether by females. So we're not justifying any action on this program here this afternoon. Don't hit anybody. Ladies, if you have to run though, just run. All right.
And men too. Run.
Exactly. All right, so we have so many comments coming in. I have to go back to one of the questions asked Pastor Hines. I'm so happy that you're here joining us this afternoon. Let me see any other person. Hi, Ice Princess. Good to see you, Marissa. We have Kimberly Richmond. I'm so happy to see you. So we have about 40 minutes before the program wrap up this afternoon. I know. Odessa is here. Renisha, hi. Welcome to all of you here this afternoon. So the question, I'm going back to the question asked by, let me see. Who was it? Delson Forrest, Pastor Thompson Forrest asked a question. If ladies can pay for date, I think when we were mentioning something about payment and dates. Ladies, can you pay for dates? Let's just hear you quickly. Very, very brief on this one.
Why not? We can pay for dates here.
We
can. I'm saying we can pay for dates. That is no problem. But it cannot be very often, because if you want to try it too steady, then you on your own, friend.
Okay. All right. I get you. Shazana?
Of course we can. And look, we can even split the bill in half. If you pay for the meal, I pay for the drink. But like Okolo said, don't think you're going to make it a habit, friend, because you'll be buying your own meal. I'll be buying my own meal. I will sit at separate tables and we'll have a wonderful date apart from each other. Just say. But I've heard some males say also, you know, that they feel a kind of a way when the woman has to, or when the woman offers to pay for the date.
Yeah.
They feel like it is their obligation to do so. And I mean, we respect you, males, yes, males who think like that, yes. But ladies, sometimes overdo it. You expect a man to buy everything. And so it's something that we have to like get in ourselves. You know, like the man he can't pay for the movie, the food. If you gotta get the taxi. Come on, man. Come on. You know, have a conscience.
Thank you, Trizada. Let's take, are we going to take Andrea and Lillian? I want to hear your comment on this too. Either one of you can go.
Okay, well, for me, sorry. Thing that's like my previous I was said previously that yes, it's important that, you know, sometimes you take turns. For example, like if it's his birthday, you can pay for that date. If it's something important for him, right, you can like surprise him, pay for it and so forth. Let's say it's your birthday and whatsoever, he then will pay for that, because I won't expect him to ask you to split for your birthday date. I mean, like that would just spoil your entire birthday, right? And so it just depends on the occasion. And I think maybe, I'm not sure, I can be wrong, like maybe when you get married and so forth, and the both of you have responsibilities and bills to pay, then the both of you maybe can come together and just pay for the dates together. Like not often the woman may be put together with her husband, but sometimes they can just come on, let's go out together. I'll pay for the taxi, you'll pay for dates or whatever. But in the dating aspect of it, she should treat you on your special dates, and you should treat her on her special dates.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Andrea, now. Your microphone is muted, Andrea.
Oh, yes. I was saying that I agree that with all that was said, right? He can pay for some dates, I can pay for some dates, it's fine. You know, once we have that agreement. And sometimes he might not be able to, you know, at this point. Sometimes with his job or something, I get paid before him or something, you know, and I can carry him for a date. Sometimes he doesn't have money at the time, you know. So yeah, we have to just work it out.
All right, great. Thank you.
And then if he's before we move on.
Let me take Trizana before Okolo. Yeah, Trizana.
If let's say he's at school and he's studying, you can't expect that he's always going to be able to pay for everything. He has his own bills and to take care of. So we have to have a conscience. Even though, you know, it's really nice to have the man paying for you, you have to look at his financial status, look at what's going on in his life. And then, you know, plan your dates so that you're not going to be a financial burden on him. And you can still have a good time. So you look at all of those things.
All right, great. Thank you. Okolo?
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing with Trizzy. However, like Liana was saying, if we're both working, we can take turns, yes. But it doesn't mean if you're paying all the time when we go and it's my turn to pay, like Dexter saying you're going to eat like over $10,000 and expect me to pay the bill. My friend, we will have to split the bill in half. That's the only way it's going to work. So don't even think about it.
All right, thank you so much. Hi, Nathaniel. I'm so happy to have you on the program this afternoon. Yes, you're listening to your baby speak. I know, Liliana, he's so proud to listen to you make your comments here this afternoon. All right, I want to say something just to share two of my personal experiences. I know there was one guy who would have said to me, who I was dating, when it comes to spending money, that's an insult to him. He would never, ever allow me to spend money. And even at one point, I can remember he didn't really have money. And he was like, he borrowed that money from me. And that is how he was when it comes to me not spending money, because he believes that he's a man and he should be the one doing the spending. So I allowed him and I respect that value of him. So even though I'm willing to reach out, he would pay me back. I ain't gonna refuse it because I realize that is his value system, right? But on the other hand, there was one other instance where I went out on a date with a guy, and he carried me to a place. He asked me where I wanted to go. I was in college then, and I'm like, hey, I want to go to this lovely I can't remember the name of the place. And we went for a wonderful lunch. And when I was finished, he got the bill, he was like, do you have any more money to help to pay? I was so, oh my God. That thing, I melted within, but I'm so thankful that my father trained me. It doesn't matter who young man I go out with. My father always said, listen, always have your monies on you. I am speaking. It doesn't matter how you trust that young man you go out with. Even if you have to borrow money from a friend just to go out on that day, just ensure that you have, as the old people would say, your vex money, ensure that you have money. So I had finances on that particular day to actually help to pay the bill. But for me, I consider that was really insulting. Don't ask me where I want to go if you know you already have the money and it wasn't like the biggest expensive place. All I have to say is, listen, we can't make that place, or I'm going to carry you out somewhere. This is the place, because go out places where your budget can fit into, or don't throw it out a young woman, because trust me, we are going to take the mantle. We're going to go places if we realize you're just offering some open comments there, open invitation. All right. We have a lot of
There's also some misers. You know what's misers? You know, they hold everything. They don't want to bring it out. So yeah, so ladies, just be careful of the misers and don't get confused with those two, right?
Yes. All right. I know, Pastor.
Gentlemen, don't. Don't, sorry, Shibiki. Gentlemen, do not take the girl if you can take her on the first date. Don't take her to no expensive. Let me use Guyana. Don't carry she Marriott, and then next week you can carry she KFC. It don't work like that. You have to start small, and then you increase. Please. If you start big, she will expect you to go big all the time. And if you can't maintain that, then well, you know what you have to do if you can't maintain.
All right, great. Thank you. So we have
Also,
we have
before you continue, Vicky.
just Okol, I'm gonna take that will be a last comment on this because we have people have been sending their questions and I want to address 3 questions before we close today. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you're gonna go out with somebody, just ensure that before you go to where you're going, that you know where you're going, because like Vicky said, some persons they want to go to expensive place and they don't have the money. And if you can beforehand, you can say, okay, we're gonna do this together. Then you're in the right, you're going down the right path.
That's right. That's right. I'm searching for the other questions that came in, but there's a question that I saw at the bottom. Hi, Pastor Collins. Welcome to you today. Pastor Collins she's asking the question. Should a woman date a man who doesn't have a job? Well, let's forget about if he's at school, because I know that's one of the excuses, that's one of the justification we will give. Forget that he's at school studying, but he just doesn't have a job. What are you saying?
Is he lazy?
I
Is he
don't
lazy?
know. It's a general question.
Because if he is lazy, well, then it's a no-no, because you can't expect to go into, date somebody and then go into marriage and then you have a lazy man there, he can't do anything.
He must have ambition. If he doesn't have self-motivation and those things, and no, my
Why
friend.
doesn't he have to?
Thank you, Okola. Chizana?
For me, right?
Why
You
doesn't
don't have any? Don't have any?
Was
Don't have
he
anyone?
All right, we take it. Okay, Liliana, just before you go, we take Chizano. Go ahead, Chizano.
Why doesn't he have a job? If he was just recently fired from his job, I will cut him some slack. But like Sister Charles said, if you just lazy and you have no money, why are you even calling and texting me? No, we can't work. I'll be a friend. I will pray for you, but that's just it. Prayers for you.
Okay, Chizana, thank you. Liliana, go.
Yes, I was saying if he doesn't have a job, then therefore he doesn't have sufficient money. Let's just put it that way. Then therefore, our relationship is too expensive for him. He can't afford a relationship. So what he should first is get his priorities right. As a man, get a job. Find Jesus first, right? When you find Jesus, then get a job. Then when you get a job, then you could get a woman. You can't start from the bottom to the top. You have to start from the top to the bottom, right? But I'm not saying if you had a job and then you recently got fired, right? And then you were with the girl while you got fired. But if you were not with someone and you got fired, then don't go looking for a relationship. Go looking for a next job, right? So that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you so much. So we have another question on the table too. Dexter would have asked this question a while ago. If a guy asks you out, ladies, and he just didn't show up on the date, would you go out, especially if he didn't call? Because Dexter didn't put that part in, but I'm assuming that he didn't call. Would you go out and go out on a date with him again if he asks you?
You have to get manners. You must be polite. Now, if you didn't make it on a date, then it's your job to call the individual, because you already stood the person up. Now, you didn't say anything. How is that going to look? Now, for me personally, you ain't going back on no date with me. You got tried it. If you plan well, you alone going this time. So, no. You must be polite.
All right, thank you.
For me, right? Like my sister said, you have to have some sort of manners indeed, right? If you invite the person, you got the person excited. You don't know if the person spend money on the dress and whatever they do to get ready, and then you just don't call. I mean, if for a little thing like a date, you don't show some sort of respect, then where would this relationship head to? Yeah. It will be a relationship filled with a lot of broken promises, because I can't trust you for the simplest thing like a date. How can I trust you to be loyal to me? Like it's just the first level of broken trust. So no, I wouldn't, unless of course phone fell in the water. He's stranded with no signals. He couldn't get to call me. And then maybe months after, when he finally came out of exile, then he told me that that's what happened. Then I would go on another date with him. That's the only way.
All right, thank you. So, Andrea, we explored the question, and Trizana, you had a point to make on this. All right. So, Andrea,
yes. Yes. Go ahead.
Go ahead, answer the question.
Oh, it must be circumstances of cataclysmic proportions. I had a friend who used to say that you are not able to get back to me and to tell me as to why you stood me up. I mean, I literally stopped considering you. But I would like you to at least say why you didn't show up and why, how dare you ask me for a second date? How dare you? You are disrespectful. Like, come on. I mean,
thank you, Trizana.
No.
Yes, Andrea, would you? No. So this guy stood you up on the first date. He didn't even call. Well, Dexter didn't put that part. Let me stop insinuating Dexter's question. But okay, he asked you for a first date. He didn't show up. And then then afterwards, he asked you for a second date. Would you go on the second date with him? Microphone, Andrea. Please put on your mic. I know you're passionate.
Sorry. Yes, it all depends on the circumstance. Like, I cannot call the word that Trizana just called, but Trizana is right. I give Trizana thumbs up for that. You know, it depends on the circumstance that caused you not to show up. And if it's a good, excuse you can give me why you didn't show up, well then I personally would go if it's a good, valid excuse that you give. But right. if not, he need to go. Remember, we're looking at the list. Remember, dating is trying to find a person. So if he doesn't match, then he gotta go.
Yeah. And one of the things I hate as a woman, broken promises. Like, there is nothing like that really and truly gets me totally mad. I may not say it to the person, but I hate broken promises. Don't get my hopes high, and then for some reason or the other, you didn't show up, you didn't call to explain anything, and then worse yet, you calling me perhaps maybe until the time when you want the next day to ask me if to go out again. Like, no, young man, come on. I know we women are not so difficult to deal with as you guys would have said, but one of the things is that we need to feel this form of security. So we need to know that you care for us. So just call it and saying, I mean, some of you will call with some very lying excuses, that too. But maybe I will go on a second date with him, depending on what is the excuse. And especially if I know I have a whole list of male friends, and I know those who are genuine. If they didn't show up on something and they're genuine about it, you know that definitely they had a problem. But then some of them, again, it's questionable that they really and truly had an issue. But all right, ladies, we have to continue. I know that it's 1 hour and 32 minutes, but we're having a great time. Do you want us to go until 2 hours or something, maybe next 15 minutes or so? It all depends on you.
No problem.
Keep going.
All right, so we are enjoying this. We're enjoying this. So let me see. And these questions came in from our guys. I need to check to see the other one that we're going to ask you right now. Let me see. Oh, one of the guys asked this question. Comment on the following statement. And ladies, I want us to touch base on this. They say, women are always looking for the perfect man, but never trying to be the perfect woman for that man. Let me hear your comments on this, ladies. Women are always looking for the perfect man, but never trying to be the perfect woman for that man. What do we have to say on that?
Generalization. That's generalization, because I think.
All right, we take Okolo, then we take Trizana. I know.
Not everybody. Hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Okolo.
So I'm saying that is generalization, because not everybody thinks like that. Because there's no perfect person on earth. Neither we're not perfect. So I don't believe in that statement. That statement is too vague.
All right, Trizana.
What men need to understand And I'll be real. Some women have a list that does not make any sense. A list that they want in a man that really and truly does not make any sense. And they hold all the men that they may come in contact with as that list. Right? And so you see, some women expect to get perfect men, but never really expect that, oh, in order for me to get this person, I have to be this way. Wise women would understand that if I would like my future husband to be somebody who is honest or somebody who is ambitious, then I have to have those qualities. So you have to look for wise women. Foolish women walk around with this whole idea that they need a perfect man, but they don't have to be perfect because in their head they're probably perfect. But wise women know that if I want something, if I want someone to be this way to me, I have to be that way to them. That's my response.
Thank you so much, Trisano. Good. Liliana, Andrea?
Well, I agree with that statement that you made. Some for sales, it's still that, right? Because many we as females, most of the times we daydream. Not all females, right? When I say females, I'm not generalizing it, right? But some females, we daydream of a perfect relationship because we see it on social media. We see this, and then when social media portray it, oftentimes it looks as though everything is going really nice and so forth. So we want the perfect guy. And to us, right? I mean, who see fault in themselves? It's hard for somebody to see fault in themselves unless they're being very honest. To you, you're already the perfect person because you can cook, you can clean or whatever. So you don't have anything else to change. And then, so we're looking for the perfect person, but we're not trying to build ourselves. So I believe, yes, there are some women like that. Is that right? No, it's not right. Whatever we want in a partner, we should try to be the same. So when I find our partner, we will not be the one to be the toxic person in the relationship per se, but we can be able to like the perfect combination. And there's no perfect guy. You may find 75% of the quality, other percentage not be perfect. So the only perfect guy there is Jesus Christ. Keep waiting, he's coming very soon.
Thank you, Liliana. Go, Andrea. What am I hearing this?
I agree. I'm always in agreement with these young ladies. They are to the point. Yeah, I'm always in agreement with them. Right. However, there's a text that say, be therefore perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect, right? So we ought to strive for perfection no matter what, right? We ought to strive for perfection. And the thing is that like Liliana and the previous person who was before her, like they said that, we have to be ourselves first, right? You have to see that we are perfect first, and then we seek out for the perfect guy, because we cannot be, who we are looking for. We are not it, and we are looking for something. So let us be the perfect person first, and then we seek out for the perfect guy. Well, I already have the perfect guy, so you young ladies and all those who are searching for the perfect one.
All right, thank you, Andrea. I just want our viewers not to go away with the misconception that perfection means without flaws, right? Don't go away with that idea. It means that the individual has his or her own flaws, but then you'll be able to work your way up and work through those situations. And at least the person would have been able to meet majority of what you're looking for. And a very important point of submission that Liliana made is the fact that if you have a list, ladies, we all have our list. I don't even know where mine is. But if we have our list, we need to ensure how many of those things on your list have you achieved personally? Have you developed yourself personally? You want an educated man. When last have you went to school? Have you maybe wrote your subjects that you didn't get at CXC? You want a man with a high-paying job. What are you doing to elevate yourself? So it comes back to the point whereby each and every one of us, we still have to work individually to develop us. Even as we are, as dating, we accept the person who we accept that we want XYZ qualities. We have to ensure that we are up to par. So at the end of the day, he cannot look at you and say, hey, you don't even you don't even match me in any way. But we should be up to par with that. All right, Dexter, before I take your question, there is it's just a comment. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna just ask another question, ladies. Even as we're preparing to bring our program to a close this afternoon, who do you think is responsible? So you have been dating this guy. Guys have been exclusive. Okay, just the final one. The one that finally met your requirements. Maybe 80%, 85%. Who is responsible to take the relationship to the next level? If you have been dating, who is responsible to who should make the first step? Should it be you or should it be the guy to go into the courtship zone?
I think the persons that are courting and married should answer this question.
Well, that should not mean that is married.
Should be back
Liliana
soon. Yeah.
Gail, please tell us who makes the first step.
For me, right? I think that when you are dating, you get this idea. So dating basically, because we have so many definitions for dating, like before you start courting, right? Okay, so if we're dating, like the original meaning of it, right? Then I'm sure that you should have some conversation on where the relationship is going next. So then, therefore, the both of you, I mean, if you're serious about him and he's serious about you, then therefore, during that many different conversations, you will have, okay, I'm interested in you and so forth. And, if we're dating, I mean, if we continue this friendship, there's some possibility that we may end up in a court and we end up courting and so forth. So I think it's not just one person. To me, my personal opinion, to me, it's a discussion stuff. And it's a discussion that you should have both parties. Because some girls, they just wait on I ask them. And sometimes the guy may be shy. Who knows? He may not ask right away and so forth. And sometimes some guys wait for, the girl to push and make that move. But together, don't be forceful and be, okay, when are we going to be dating? Just ask, where does this friendship lead to? In a nice way. What's next for us? Simple questions like these, and you can know where, the dating will lead to, basically.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Archer, let me hear you on that.
Guitar. Me? Yeah. All right. Well, like Liliana would have said, if the guy is shy, then the woman needs to try, right? The woman needs to try if the guy is shy, because and especially if you know that it's a good guy, it's a good guy and you don't want to lose this guy. You find certain characteristics that you are looking for in a guy, right? Well, then go ahead. If you as a girl, you need to make that step, well, then go ahead. I don't see anything wrong with you as a girl making that step forward, right? If the guy is shy, it all depends on your personality and all depends on where the relationship is actually heading. You can actually see that because you and that person are communicating on a daily basis, weekly basis, or what. So you can actually say that when you're seeing certain things in a relationship.
Definitely. Thank you so much for the two submissions. And that's the thing, when it comes to the move, making the next step, you might be dating a sort of introverted guy that needs some form of motivation and encouragement to move on, right? And sometimes he may be in the relationship and still be shy, don't want to know, okay, when can I go? Okay, we finished dating. I think it's about time we move over to courtship. I want to meet your parents, but then he doesn't know how to ask you. So as Liliana would have mentioned, you have your conversations, and if you're communicating long enough, these things will come up. And sometimes he may be the one to say, okay, let's go to the other step. Sometimes the woman might be the one that, okay, let's go to the other step. I remember listening to someone, and they would have said that she said she had to ask her husband, when are we going to get married? What are we waiting for? Because she said like he's just there dilly-dallying. And then it's like until when she asked him, it's then like he really thought about it. Oh yeah, it's been a while indeed. We need to get married. So sometimes, as women, we need to be the one, because you remember you already have the relationship. It's like if you're begging now for the man to be with you, you guys are together, it's established and everything. So even if it comes to you just saying, okay, where do we go from here? ask your questions. Don't be afraid when it comes to doing that. All right, let's see. We're gonna take Dexter has a question on the board. If a woman wants a guy with money and house and cars and love, loyalty, and all the above. So if a guy brings all that to the table, what are you young women bringing to the table? Ladies?
Well, that question really freaked me out, Dexter.
Oh my God, somebody said we the help me. Okay.
No.
We are bringing your future children to the table because you can have all of that, right? But we bring your future family to the table.
Right.
What more do you want? I'm just kidding. Right? But but that's true. But just like kidding a little bit on that. But as women, we shouldn't allow a guy to go that far to ask us what are we bringing to the table. I mean, that's a very embarrassing question. All that you can offer is just nothing much. If you try, at least if you cannot, if you don't even let's say you're not financially stable, you can be a support system, right? You can be a spiritual I won't say leader because he's supposed to be the leader, but it's a spiritual assistant. You can be so much different thing that doesn't involve finance and so forth, because God created us very special. We are very emotional human beings, and we can get guys to go in this soft spot. We can help them to see different stuff that they're not even seeing. So we can be all of that until we can be able to maybe help out financially or help out in different ways and so forth. We have a very important role. Very.
Thank you,
answer Dexter.
I could just imagine Natalia laughing. All right, we take either Okola or Andrea.
I'll go next. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I agree with Liliana. It depends on the individual's economic status, I should say. Now, if the individual doesn't have all those materialistic things, then there are certain values that she can bring to the table, like respect and love and the same loyalty that you look forward to. And when she is able to do those things that you provide, on a level with you, then she will do so. But we can't force things. We only have to let things work out the best way that God sees it possible.
All right. Thank you. Andrea.
No, I didn't really have much to say on this. All I'm saying is that a man needs to be the provider, right? So I don't see anything wrong with he bringing everything on the table, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. So for me personally, I love to know that I love to know that I am set, and I love to know that I developed me. Because at the end of the day, I'm not the type of woman that goes into a relationship with the intent of a man developing me now or making me somebody. I should be set. I should be an individual in terms of who I am, in terms of my value system, in terms of my accomplishments and everything. So when I come to the table, I am already bringing things to the table. It may not be a house, Dexter. It may not be car. It may not be money. But then I am bringing somebody. I'm bringing love. I'm bringing the two factors that you would have listed there. I'm bringing loyalty, and I'm bringing so many things that you can actually sit and learn from me at the same time. So even as it for our young women that are listening, we need to ensure that we develop our personality to the extent whereby a man shouldn't have to question us of what we are bringing to the table, because bringing to the table, Dexter, is not all about a materialistic approach, but it can be so much more in terms of who we really are. All right. Dexter, we're going to talk about that. Right now, the woman in dating relationship, you ain't, you're not wife, and we're not fulfilling any woman wife duty. So washing your clothes ain't one of them. If you come over by us, yes, we can cook a meal together. What else you would have mentioned here? Yes, but those things are wife duties, not dating duties. Ladies, get it straight. Let's know our boundaries, what we're doing when we're dating. Okay, good. Before we close, we got to take this final question as I was going through the questions the guys sent. I think this one is important because I don't think we have cleared this one up in any one of our discussion, but as it relates to for support, let's say, okay, there is this question here. Should a woman disclose everything about herself while dating? And the other part to the question the guy would have asked, how can a woman not become too emotionally attached during the dating stage? So we're going to wrap up with those two questions. Should a woman disclose everything about herself while dating? And how can a woman not become too emotionally attached during the dating stage?
The first one, I would like to attempt the first one. Now, okay. I don't think that we are supposed to disclose everything about ourselves, because one example is sometimes I might tell you about my past, what took place in my past, and then you might want to play on that. And that is where it might lead to some problems. So it doesn't make sense I tell you everything, and then you're going to use that as an advantage to do what you want. So I don't think you should share everything about yourself when you're dating someone.
All right, thank you. Good. Who's next? Andrea? Your microphone.
Sorry. Yes, a woman disclosing everything about her past. No, I don't think neither of them, the male nor the female, they should disclose everything about the past, right? Because I mean, we are here now. We should start from here. Yes, you can say one and two things, but not everything. Because when sometimes you might remember we're dating, right? You're not, we're dating. So if now you are not for me, I haven't seen, that you're suitable for me, and then I have to leave the relationship, then you go with all of what I would have told you. You go with everything. And now I'm going to, move on again and so on. And I may tell another person everything about my past. So your past is actually keep going with other people, which, you should not let that happen. Right? So I think that you should wait until you probably start courting, you're engaged, and then probably reveal if there's any, personal thing that you want to, even until then, you don't have to. It's a choice, right? It's a choice if you want to do that, right? So that's just my take on it.
All right. All right. Okolo, you had. All right. Okolo, you had. All right, let's take Liliana, and then I'm going to come back to you, Okolo.
Okay. Yeah, like Miss Andrea said, it's a personal choice because dating the person, and after dating the person for some time, like there's certain things that you will like know about the person in terms of like if you find a person that is very reliable. Yeah. And so forth. So like if to me, right, I mean in the first month and a half of your relationship, no. The first year, no, and so forth, right? But as you gradually date the person and you see the kind of traits that the person have, if you see that the person is a very spiritual, I'm not saying every spiritual person you can trust, right? But if you see the person is very spiritual person, the person really takes the problem to God, and they handle the problems through prayers and so forth, and you find, right, that is like a personal like choice that you find that this person is not like the normal person, just listen and just give a random advice, just listen and go and gossip and so forth. Then you can start disclosing piece by piece and see how they handle the information you give to them. But do not disclose your biggest, your biggest, I want to say the word secret or so forth, but stuff to the individual. Mm-hmm. Unless, of course, you're like let's say you're close to getting married, your date is already set and everything, and you know that you're going to get married and you fully trust the person, then you can start disclosing. But for the young boyfriend and girlfriends and so forth, you should give it some time, because like Andrea said too, you and the person break up, the person have everything about you, and if that person was just like a normal random person, was just in a relationship just for relationship's sake, they can go and spread everything about you, and they can be very embarrassing.
Thank you so much for those submissions. Yes, Okolo, you had another point to make.
Yeah, I was going to say some persons are so pretensive, right? Because they can show you this face in order for you to gain their trust. And then when you gain their trust and you go and you tell them everything about you, then like Sister Andrea said, when things doesn't work out, the person might go and tell Jane, Johnny, and everybody else, and everybody knows your little mishap. And persons can use that against you as well. So it's better if we don't. It's easy to trust people, yes, but we need to take our time when it comes to these things. We don't trust people so easily.
Thank you. Yes, I know, Andrea, you wanted to say something too.
What I wanted to say is that not everybody also handle the past, in a nice way.
Yeah.
Right? Because, for instance, let's say I might disclose my past to my husband and so on, but he did not disclose. Why men and women are generally different in dealing with certain situations, right? So with the man now, sometimes he probably, if he is to tell me about his entire past, perhaps he had 10, 20 girlfriends and so on. Now, sometimes this can either affect our relationship. Because for me, sometimes, because like I said, we women cannot run from the way sometimes we think, right? We cannot run, because the thing is that with women, sometimes how the brain is made up, they actually thinking this, that, everything, right? While a man, his brain is made up in an orderly way. So with the woman now, she might want to bring up the past. Oh, you went with this girl, how was kissing with Tanya? How was kissing with Trezana? It's like you bring, and now these things, when you bring in all these baggages to the relationship, it can cause a problem psychologically and emotionally. So I wouldn't. It's a personal choice whether you want it. Like I would always go back to that, but I wouldn't think.
All right. Thank you so much. When I looked at even to when it comes to me, I really don't. One of the things is like dating a new guy. I always find out, okay, maybe why your relationship ended. But for me, I always say it's not really my business to find out who you dated. So I am not concerned if you dated Pam or you dated Sheila. I would hardly. I can't remember myself asking a guy who was the girl that you dated. What I would find out is like, okay, why your relationship would have ended? Because every woman is, or women, as Andrea mentioned, we are wired differently. So I don't want when I'm seeing Pam on the road, I'm thinking, this, or thinking X, Y, Z about Pam. So for save myself of overthinking, I just don't care who you would have dated before, but I just want to know maybe why your relationship ended. So that's why I asked. But that's just for me personally. It varies from woman to woman. So the final question, part 2 of the question that the guy asks is, what can we advise women of not being too emotionally attached? So we're going to close with that particular question. What would you advise women in terms of for them not to be too emotionally attached during the dating stage? We just going to take one word of advice from each one of you because we need to wrap up.
Okay, I'll go first. Remember that dating is not a commitment or involvement. It's just a process of getting to know someone. So don't go about trying to get too connected to the individual, because in the end, it can end up hurting you emotionally.
Thank you. Trezana?
And how we can not get connected with that individual is by setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is one of the important things, and thereby trying not to be involved in any physical intimacy. Yes. So that's how. Because some women, because they're involved intimately, whether by kissing or so on, is something that is like they're leaving a piece of themselves with this guy, so they get attached emotionally, right? So try to avoid it as much as possible, or don't do it.
Thank you so much. All right, Trezana?
For me, what Ashley said, do not engage in physical intimacy with someone you are just dating. Do not do it. It is like a red flag. Don't. And also have an open mind. Remember why you're doing it. Not everybody you meet is going to meet your criteria. So have an open mind. So you don't go mistaking somebody that's good for you with somebody who's just terribly bad, who's just a terrible person. So do not get physical. Have an open mind.
Thank you. Liliana?
Well, for me, like I agree with Miss Andrea. She said, sometimes we get physical too fast. We meet the person and we already start upon the person, like, you know, like, I don't know, describe it. And because that's what society portrays it to be. Sometimes society portrays it like, okay, you have to always be holding hand, always be kissing, because that's form of relationship. No, because like Sis Andrea will get attached to the individual, and it will be harder to break. Also, the Trizana said too, right? Remember, dating is not marriage. Dating is like whereby you were trying to figure out which person is right for you. So you don't invest all of your time, invest every single thing into that individual. And if you see any red flags and so forth, don't be afraid to leave. And that's how you'll not be top person, because you know, okay, looking to see this person match my criteria or not, and for marriage. So those two points will help you.
All right. So thank you very much to all our viewers, and kindly asking everyone to mute their microphones. All right. So thank you so much to all our viewers for this afternoon's episode. You all have made it a success. And I just want you to know we are going to explore premarital sex in detail one of these days. I have a lineup of topics. I have a lineup of presenters already. So feel free. On Friday, I want each and every one of you to join us on Friday. Friday, we are looking at racism. I will have representatives from different races. They have consented to be on the program on Friday. So you will hear what other races have to say about the issue of racism and its effects of individuals. I really and truly can't wait for that episode on Friday, because we will have persons not only from the Caribbean, but I will have representatives from out of the Caribbean also on our program on Friday. So feel free. The live share will go up. The promo will go up Thursday night, and you can just share it on your page. If you share it on your page, as soon as we go live here, you will just see it appears on your page. So share this broadcast. There might be someone else who you'll be able to touch and encourage. So I want to say special thanks to Andrea Charles. And just for audience information's sake, she is the wife of Pastor Alfred Charles, working with young people over the years. We want to say thanks to Liliana Hamilton. Liliana would have finished school last year, and I'm so happy that she could have been here. Liliana, it's about 9-something by you now. But I'm so happy that she's here and she could have joined us on the program this afternoon. And then, of course, Okolo Bino, she's from Guyana. And I'm so happy that you are here today. Trizana also, who was here, and Pastor English. She had to leave. Sorry about that. But I am so happy that each of these individuals could have been here. So to our viewers, I really and truly enjoy your interactive session. The questions that you guys would have asked. To our guys, you did a fantastic job. Thank you all. Remember, for all of our programs, if, for example, on racism on Friday, if you have some questions that you want to see addressed by our viewers, because of the fact that we have persons of different races on Friday, you can inbox me. You have my WhatsApp number, some of you. If not, send me a messenger message. These are some of the questions that you want to see answered. And surely we are going to put the questions on the platform, and the guest speakers will be able to answer it. So thank you so much once again. You were looking at issues in focus with Shabiki Vivers. I'm just going to quickly pray to close off this afternoon before I officially end this broadcast. So let us pray. Eternal God, we are so thankful for the wonderful and interactive discussion that we had. I pray, Lord, that the viewers, our young people especially, that this broadcast will be able to touch them so that they can make positive decisions for you. We praise you and we say, Lord, may you continue to bless this program and may continue to minister to the hearts and lives of individuals. Have your way, we pray, through Jesus Christ. Amen. Mm-hmm. So God bless you all. Sister Gwelin is saying, our former first lady, yes, Sister Andrea, Pastor Charles was a pastor in our district before. Mm-hmm. So yes, Curtis is saying thanks to all the ladies who would have voiced this program, voiced their concern over the program. Thank you, yes. And so I'm going to see you later on. So bye to our audience. You can say bye to all of them. And we are going to see you again on Friday at 2 p.m. If it goes later than 2, know that we had blackout or there was some issue. But continue to pray for, let us continue to pray for each other as we continue to endeavor to lead some young person to Christ through our various avenues. So God bless you all. See you on Friday. See you next time.